It may surprise or even shock you to hear what I'm about to say, but if you're seeing this video right now, it's no accident. You, a true chosen one, have sensed for some time that your life is destined to flow with greater ease, fulfillment, and opportunity. Yet something keeps pulling you back into the old patterns you thought you left behind. Deep down, you can feel the pull toward a more abundant future, but you still find yourself giving energy to the very things that leave you feeling depleted. This conflict isn't random. It's a sign that your spirit is at the edge of a breakthrough. If you're ready to discover what's truly been holding you back and open yourself to the higher reality waiting for you, then please like, subscribe, and comment 77 below to show you're open to this transformative journey. Chapter 1. A Sense of More. From an early age, you felt there had to be more to life than routine tasks and predictable outcomes. Even when everyone around you seemed content with the usual, you were captivated by a mysterious awareness that abundance isn't just about money or possessions. It's a way of living, a state of being. This sense of more guided you through tough times and gave you the courage to dream bigger. But as life's demands piled up, you may have started feeding habits and distractions that drained your energy rather than fueled your aspirations. You noticed how quickly one day blurred into the next when you got stuck in repetitive cycles. Even though you sensed a grander possibility, you spent hours scrolling through social media or replaying old worries in your mind. It felt harmless at first, maybe even comforting, but soon you realized that these mental and emotional routines were siphoning away your spark. Despite telling yourself you'd change, you found it surprisingly hard to break free from the pull of these familiar pitfalls. Friends might have commented on your potential, calling you gifted or even special. Some recognized that you carried a different kind of energy, a spark that suggested you were meant for bigger things. Yet they also noticed how you sometimes stalled or slipped back into safe but limiting patterns. If you're honest with yourself, you knew you were stuck too. You tried to deny it, but deep inside you felt an ache, a longing to unleash the fullness of your capability. This is where you stand, at the threshold between complacency and the life you truly crave. The path to abundance beckons, shimmering with promise, but something in you keeps returning to the very thoughts and habits that prevent you from moving forward. It might be the fear of the unknown, or a subtle worry that stepping fully into your power could separate you from everything familiar. You might also notice a sense of urgency. Time is ticking, and your soul is restless. Each day that passes without you stepping into your potential feels like a missed opportunity. And it is, but it's not too late. Becoming aware of the tug of war within you is a victory in itself, a sign that you're ready to part ways with the distractions that hold you back. So take a breath. Let that wave of possibility wash over you. The very fact that you recognize you're meant for more is evidence that abundance is not just a dream, but a destiny you can claim. A new chapter of growth lies waiting if only you'll stop feeding what drains you and turn your energy toward what truly matters. This is the starting point for everything that follows. Chapter 2. What really drains you? The obstacle is subtle. It often comes disguised as comfort or fleeting pleasure, scrolling through endless feeds, indulging in gossip, or clinging to anger towards someone who hurt you long ago. These habits appear harmless on the surface, but each one steadily siphons off your energy. You notice the drain most when you're alone, trying to move forward on a project or when nurturing a deeper dream. Suddenly you feel depleted, anxious, or weighed down by an unexplainable heaviness. It's easy to blame external circumstances. You might say you're too busy, you have too many responsibilities, or the world simply isn't fair. And there is some truth to all that. Life can be harsh, obligations can eat away at your time. But the real question is, where are you placing your energy when you do have a choice? Are you using those precious moments to build, reflect, and expand? Or are you pouring them into distractions that keep you spinning in circles? Being a chosen one means you have heightened sensitivity, an ability to pick up on subtle cues and energies that most people overlook. This sensitivity can be both a gift and a challenge. Because you sense more, you can also be triggered more. When negative news or drama floats into your awareness, it can stick to you more deeply than it does to others. Over time, these lower energies accumulate, leaving you feeling drained without fully grasping why. Break free. You must name the drainers in your life. It might be a toxic relationship that keeps pulling you into the same arguments. It could be a deep fear of failure that paralyzes you whenever you try to step into a new project. Or maybe it's the lure of never-ending entertainment that leaves no space for meaningful creation. Whatever it is, it silently saps the vitality you need to align with abundance. Each time you return to these habits or relationships, you're reinforcing a cycle that contradicts your higher calling. Acknowledging these patterns is an act of courage. It's like shining a flashlight into a dark corner of a room you've been avoiding. The moment you see what's truly there, you can no longer pretend it doesn't exist. If you feel a pang of regret or guilt, that's normal. But guilt alone won't help you evolve. You need determination to shift your focus. By identifying what drains you and consciously choosing new ways to use your energy, you can begin reclaiming your path toward the life you've always sensed was possible. Chapter 3. The Trap of Fear. No matter how much positivity you radiate or how strongly you yearn for abundance, fear has a way of creeping in. Often it sits like a hidden trap, deep beneath the surface, quietly influencing your choices. You might feel it in the form of procrastination, a subtle dread of judgment, or a nagging sense that you're not good enough. These feelings can be so ingrained that you hardly notice them, yet they affect your actions every single day. Fear feeds the things that drain you. When you're afraid, you might seek quick fixes that soothe you in the moment, like scrolling mindlessly or gossiping with someone who shares your doubts. Because the alternative would require you to face your insecurities head-on. This avoidance doesn't eliminate the fear. It magnifies it. Before you know it, a quick diversion turns into hours lost, your energy scattered, your dreams shelved for another day. It's a costly price for temporary comfort, but fear isn't always a villain. Sometimes it's a sign that you're standing at the edge of something new. Imagine yourself at the entrance of a dark tunnel, unsure what you'll find on the other side. Fear flutters in your stomach, but there's also a thrill. Deep down, you sense that if you step through, you could discover an entirely different reality. The key is to discern whether your fear is warning you of real danger or simply challenging you to grow. For a chosen one, fear can become an ally if you learn to listen to it without letting it dictate your actions. That means pausing when the doubt surfaces, acknowledging it, and asking, is this fear showing me a real threat, or is it pointing to a limiting belief I'm clinging to? Often it's the latter. A mental script you picked up somewhere along the line, telling you that success is too risky, failure is humiliating, or change is too disruptive. Once you realize this, you can begin to rewrite that script. Instead of letting fear push you into draining activities, use it as a signal to take a small step in the direction of your calling. Perhaps you'll spend a few minutes working on that creative idea you've shelved for months. Maybe you'll reach out to someone who inspires you, even though it scares you to be vulnerable. Each time you confront that fear, you weaken the old pattern that kept you stuck. The road to abundance isn't about eliminating fear entirely, it's about channeling your energy more wisely. Fear can remind you where your edges are, helping you identify what needs your focus. The moment you allow fear to be a compass instead of a cage, you take a massive leap toward aligning with the flow of abundance that's been waiting for you all along. Chapter 4. The Company You Keep. For many chosen ones, the biggest battle isn't just within the mind, it's also in the circles you inhabit. You may find yourself surrounded by people who lack the same fire to evolve. They're satisfied with just enough and can't understand your yearning for more. They might even label you as overly ambitious or unrealistic, urging you to settle for a life that doesn't ruffle too many feathers. There's nothing inherently wrong with the people around you. They might be good-hearted, kind, and loyal friends. But if their energy consistently drains you instead of lifting you, it becomes a challenge to sustain the momentum you need to grow. You might sense this when you leave a conversation feeling heavy or cynical instead of inspired. It's as if your spark dimmed just a little, weighed down by their doubts or complaints. Over time, these interactions accumulate, making it harder to preserve your own vision. It doesn't mean you have to cut everyone out of your life. Rather, you have to consciously cultivate relationships that energize you, and gently limit the interactions that pull you away from your higher self. You into negativity? Sometimes it's a matter of setting boundaries, saying no to get-togethers that revolve around gossip or complaining. Other times it's about seeking out people who share your passion for growth and possibility. These connections might start online in communities that encourage spiritual awakening or creative expansion, and eventually translate into real-life friendships that nurture your quest. Being a chosen one doesn't exempt you from loneliness. In fact, recognizing that you're different can make you feel isolated, especially if you live in an environment that values conformity over exploration. Yet the longing for kindred spirits is part of your soul's blueprint, guiding you toward people who speak your language. Those who understand there's more to life than simply getting by. Every time you meet someone who resonates with your vision, the sense of relief and inspiration can be profound. It's like finding a missing puzzle piece you didn't even know you were missing. Stepping onto the path of abundance often requires a shift in the social environment. Over time, you'll notice that certain people naturally drift away while others show up unexpectedly, aligning with your new frequency. It may feel bittersweet, but it's a natural process of pruning and renewal. Clinging to connections that drain you only makes the path heavier. Letting them shift or fade opens space for fresh alliances that help you flourish. Remember, your relationships are a mirror to how you value yourself. By consciously choosing who gets your time and energy, you signal to the universe and to your own subconscious that you're serious about your transformation. In this way, the company you keep becomes not just a reflection of where you are, but a powerful catalyst pushing you further toward the life you know you were meant to live. Chapter 5. Shifting your inner dialogue. Words have power, especially the ones you say to yourself when nobody else is listening. Pay attention to the subtle scripts running through your mind each day. The repetitive thoughts that whisper you can't, that you're not ready, or that you'll fail before you even try. These internal narratives create a kind of low-level hum in the background of your life, shaping your emotions, your decisions, and ultimately, your reality. Becoming aware of that inner dialogue is the first step toward changing it. A chosen one doesn't just accept any stray thought as truth. Instead, you learn to question it, asking where the doubt really comes from and what it's trying to protect you from. Often, those thoughts are relics from the past, echoes of authority figures, former friends, or even your own younger self who was scared to stand out. Recognizing that these voices are not your present truth is liberating. It opens a space for you to rewrite your own story. The language you use about yourself is a powerful indicator of your direction. Phrases like, "I'm so broke," or "I'm stuck," might seem like innocent complaints, but they actually reinforce a reality in which abundance can't flourish. Of course, denying what's real in your life isn't the answer. If you're facing financial struggles, it doesn't help to pretend you're not, but you can shift your approach from a statement of permanent lack to one of active transformation. Saying, "I'm in a challenging place right now, but I'm finding solutions," opens a door for possibility, whereas "I'm doomed" slams it shut. A shift in inner dialogue can feel unnatural at first, even forced, because it demands that you step away from autopilot thinking. But with consistent practice, you'll notice a ripple effect. Positive shifts in your internal narrative lead to subtle changes in your feelings, which translate into different actions. Instead of numbing yourself with distractions that drain you, you might spend that energy brainstorming a new idea or seeking guidance from someone who's walked this path before. Over time, these new actions produce real evidence that your life is evolving, reinforcing the new belief system you're constructing. Gradually, the words you speak to yourself align with the reality you're creating. You begin to trust your capabilities more, feel more motivated, and attract opportunities that match this upgraded frequency of thought. This isn't magic, it's the natural consequence of directing your focus and energy toward what you truly want, instead of what you fear. Every day that you choose to feed thoughts of empowerment rather than limitation, you strengthen your connection to the abundant life you know is possible. Chapter 6. Making room for the new picture. Your life like a house. Each room represents an aspect of your mind, emotions, or daily routine. Over the years, you've filled these rooms with all sorts of items, some precious, some irrelevant, some downright destructive. At this point, there might be barely any space left for fresh possibilities to enter. If you're still feeding what drains you, you're effectively hoarding clutter in rooms where you could be entertaining new opportunities. Letting go can be uncomfortable. Sometimes we hold on to draining habits or relationships because they feel familiar and safe. Even if they sap our energy, they present a predictable pattern. The unknown, by contrast, can be terrifying. But to step fully onto the path toward abundance, you have to accept a little discomfort, like cleaning out a garage packed to the ceiling with boxes. You need to sort through what's there, deciding what to keep and what to discard. Clearing out room isn't just about quitting habits that no longer serve you. It's about actively inviting new energy in. That might take the form of a daily ritual, spending a quiet moment in the morning to visualize your goals and intentions, or it could mean rearranging your environment so that it inspires creativity rather than routine monotony. You might also discover new interests or passions that feel oddly exciting, stirring a sense of purpose you haven't felt in a long while. One of the greatest signs that you're making space for the new is a shift in how you use your time. Instead of dedicating your weekends to mindless distractions, you might invest them in learning a skill or connecting with people who challenge you to grow. You begin to sense the difference between healthy relaxation and draining escapism. When you do decide to rest or indulge in entertainment, you do it consciously, not as a way to avoid facing bigger truths. In the process, you likely confront emotional attachments. Memories will surface, regrets might gnaw at you, and you'll question whether you're truly ready to let go of certain chapters in your life. This emotional clutter can be just as burdensome as physical clutter, if not more. It takes introspection and sometimes tears to release it. But with each release, you free up a corner of your heart where new experiences can flourish. Think of this clearing out process as pruning a garden. You snip away the dead or overgrown branches to allow sunlight and nutrients to reach the newer, healthier growth. It's a continuous cycle, not a one-time event. Every season of your life may call for a different form of letting go and replenishing. The more you embrace this practice, the more you align your entire being with the abundant life force that's always been waiting for your invitation. Chapter 7. Stepping Beyond the Threshold. As you move through each phase of this journey, you'll discover that abundance isn't just about external rewards. It's an energy that flows from the deepest part of who you are. The more you stop feeding what drains you, the more space you create for that current to circulate, illuminating paths you once thought were closed off. Opportunities begin to appear as if by magic, though you recognize them as the natural result of shifting your focus toward what nourishes you. But the final step in crossing into true abundance is this. You must trust what you're becoming. Up until now, you might have allowed fear, old habits, or draining influences to keep you tethered to a smaller version of yourself. The difference here is that once you've done the inner work of naming your drainers, confronting your fears, improving your inner dialogue, and making space, you can't remain in the shadows any longer. You're left standing on a threshold, one foot in the familiar and one foot in the unknown. In this moment, self-doubt might try to creep back. You might hear an inner whisper asking, "Who am I to live a life of such abundance? What if I fail? What if I lose what I gain?" Yet this threshold is a call to courage. It's a chance to confirm whether your transformation is just a beautiful concept or a living reality. You can tiptoe back into old comfort zones, or you can consciously step forward, trusting the ground will meet your feet as you go. For a chosen one, this threshold isn't a single event. It's a recurring invitation throughout life. Each new level of growth comes with its own threshold, its own chance to expand or retreat. Understanding that this process is ongoing releases the pressure of feeling you must fix yourself once and for all. Instead, you see each phase as another layer of discovery, another opportunity to clear out what drains you so you can anchor into the overflowing potential inside you. As you stand here, consider how you want your life to unfold. Envision the possibilities waiting on the other side of fear. You might see vibrant health, meaningful connections, or creative endeavors that make your soul sing. You could sense a magnetic pull toward a purpose that lights you up. Whatever the vision, know that it's not just a daydream. It's a glimpse of what's possible when you align with abundance. All that's left is the willingness to move forward and keep moving, even when doubt taps you on the shoulder. Stepping beyond the threshold also means embracing the discipline of embodiment. It's not enough to think. Abundant thoughts, you must act them into existence. That may look like rising before dawn to honor your body with movement instead of scrolling through a feed that once drained you. It may look like depositing a percentage of your income into an investment account every pay period, even when the old scarcity voice suggests spending now and saving later. It may look like initiating conversations with mentors who ignite your growth, refusing to dim your enthusiasm for fear of seeming naive. Each action becomes a vote for the life you're claiming. You'll notice that each courageous step generates a ripple of synchronicities. A book recommendation arrives moments after you ask for guidance. A new collaborator appears precisely when you need fresh skills. These moments feel serendipitous, yet they're the evidence of your new alignment. Energy once trapped in worry or people-pleasing now broadcasts a signal that attracts aligned resources. Abundance speaks its own language, and action is its accent. However, abundance also tests integrity. Once you cross the threshold, you'll occasionally face echoes of the past. An old friend who still thrives on gossip, attempting a shortcut that contradicts your values, or an opportunity wrapped in glitter yet hollow at the core. Passing these tests locks in the expansion. Failing them simply reopens the lesson. Remember, thresholds are recurring because mastery is lived, not claimed. If you stumble, return to your practices, naming the drainers, choosing nourishing inputs, speaking to yourself with the tone of a trusted guide, and step forward again. Progress measures an ox, not straight lines. Another key to sustaining momentum is ritualized gratitude. Each night, acknowledge one way abundance manifested. A spontaneous laugh, a new skill grasped, a moment of quiet clarity. Gratitude roots progress so deeper expansion can grow. It's the balance that keeps your ship steady while you explore wider oceans. And so the story continues. Each day, each moment is another chance to nurture the seeds of abundance you've planted. There's no neat ending because your journey unfolds with every step you take beyond this threshold. Let the path expand before you, revealing vistas that transcend the limits you once accepted. The energy you free by no longer feeding what drains you will propel you into the next chapter and the next, in an ever-evolving dance with the extraordinary life calling your name. Pace yourself, trust your compass, and keep crossing each threshold with a heart ready for the view that awaits on the far side of fear.